In just less than 24 hours, we will be watching real preseason football. None of this Hall of Fame bullshit, okay? Real preseason football. Will it be any player that matters at all whatsoever? Probably not, but damn it, there will be real football available for you and for I to watch, all right? So we're excited about that. In less than 24 hours, we've got Colts, Ravens, we've got Bengals, Eagles, we've got Raiders, Seahawks, and the best news ever is that not only are you going to be able to watch preseason action, but in less than 24 hours from now, we'll be on this channel live streaming a real fantasy football draft with our land community. And of course, if you haven't heard yet, we are doing real leagues that people can join with the land community. You can either be an annual Mother Flocker member or a season pass member with the promo code LAND to enter those weekly raffles. We're raffling off spots to be in real leagues. If you don't know yet, the best deal in the industry dropped recently. It is the 2025 season pass. Unlimited access to the Flock Fantasy site. All the premium tools over there like the trade calculator, my weekly rankings, in-season rankings, off-season rankings, rest of season rankings, my 2025 draft guide, which already dropped. But keep in mind, next draft guide, version 2, is going to be updated early next week, and I cannot wait for version 2. You guys are going to absolutely love version 2 of our draft guide. It makes version 1 look like Weenie Hut Jr., if we're honest with each other. And then, of course, you also get some free vouchers to ask me questions during the season so I can help you manage your fantasy team. We'll get to it together. So if you want the season pass, use the promo code LAND, and all of this is yours and more. I appreciate y'all for being here with us. Who's in the chat? What's up, Kalani? What's up, D. Macy here? We've got Johnny Boy. We got Charlie, Nick, Tiny, Styles. Happen is in the building. And shout out to D. Macy, our countdown resident expert countdown expert. 29 days until kickoff. We are less than a month until go time, ladies and gentlemen. But what you're all here for is you're here to jump into a real draft with me, and I want you to join me for a mock draft. All right, we're going to jump into a mock draft together. If you don't know, step 1 is just to simply join our Discord. All right, so if you've never been into our Discord, I'll put a link in the chat there. Nightbot will give you a link to our Discord. Once you're in our Discord, under the land tab, you see that on the left side, under the land tab, you will see a mock drafts channel. So right here, and I will just say, hey-oh, the link will be sent here. All right, and then after after I send the link, it is a free-for-all, okay? Whoever gets in, gets in. That is how it goes. That's the nature of a public mock draft. I don't know where I'm drafting for the Flock League. I have no idea, but we're going to get some practice in. Let's start at let's try the 9 spot for now. We'll try the 9 spot for now. So it is first come, first serve, and that link is going out there in 3, 2, 1. Would love for you to come join me. What is up, Mike, in the building? I see you there, Mike. What's up, Sheku? What's happening? Master Arjun says, we're all drafting Kyle Pitts again, aren't we? No, not yet. What's up, Joe Dav? Welcome in the building. A couple things we need to talk about. So yesterday we had a huge announcement, and if you were here, we talked about how smelling salts are now banned in the NFL. Well, actually, a little update from Adam Schefter himself. He says, get a whiff of this. It turns out that players can still use smelling salts under the new NFL's policy. It's just that teams can't provide it to them. So basically, teams can't be their dealer, but they can still, use the salts. They can still get as salty as they want. It's just the teams can't be their dealer for said salts. The other news that we need to talk about, and this is going to be a very, commonly discussed thing in the next couple of weeks, that is the Matthew Stafford injury. Ladies and gentlemen, I have moved Puka down 1 spot in my rankings. I put Neighbors right ahead of him. But no, I don't think I'm going to be hesitant to draft Devontae Adams. I don't think I'm going to be hesitant to draft a Puka Nacua. And let me tell you why. Matthew Stafford, all right, have you ever looked back at like when you were a baby? You have any photos of yourself as a baby? Like when you were in diapers, did your mom take photos of you? I hope you have some photos of yourself when you were a child for memories. But do you have photos of yourself as a baby? Okay, think about back to that time. What like, so for me, born in 1994. What's up? Shout out to the 1990s. So I'm looking at a photo of me, let's say age 5 years old, 1999. Quick math. You see how I do that? Okay, so in 1999, Matthew Stafford was still dealing with back issues. Okay, so this is something this man has been dealing with pretty much his entire career. For the past 4, 5, 6 seasons, 7, 8, 9 seasons, Matthew Stafford has had back problems. So I don't think any of us should be shocked that the veteran, the second oldest quarterback in the NFL, is not heavily involved in preseason, is not heavily involved in practices where he doesn't need to take extra shots. Of course, it's something to think about. Of course, it's frustrating, but that's my stance on it. And if it becomes more and more serious, we get more and more reports, of course, we're all going to be open to changing our minds and changing our opinions. But we're going to jump into a mock draft here. This is a 1 quarterback start 8 PPR mock draft, and let's go ahead and get this bad boy started in 3, 2, 1 as Johnny Boy is up on the clock. I appreciate y'all being here with me. Do me a favor, go ahead and hit that like button to show some love on today's stream. We've got a like goal today of 75 likes. If we do 75 likes, I'm gonna go ahead and pop off a second mock draft. A whole new group of people are gonna be able to join me. So do you think we can reach that? Second mock draft equals 75 likes. What do you guys think? Can we get it? Can we do that? Appreciate y'all for being here with me. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. And we are seeing Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Bijan Robinson off the board. So Saquon Barkley, nothing crazy. I'm assuming we all know what the next 2 picks are going to be. There is a big 6 this year. Mike, what's up? He says, doctor said I need a bacchiotomy. Happen says it's the same as the last 15 years. Yes. Akshay, what's up? Says, what time will the stream start for the Chi-Town League, which will reveal the draft order, right? Yes. So tomorrow night, we're going to jump on the stream. We'll probably jump on at the same time. We'll do the draft order reveal, and then we'll jump straight into the draft, Akshay. So yeah. What's up, TD Vulture in the building? I appreciate you for being here. All right. So we have Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Neighbors off the board. And yeah, here at the 109, I'm not going to be hesitant to draft Puka Nacua. I'll take him there at the 109. This is the guy who scored the second most points per game. Well, you can count Chris Godwin. Some sites don't count Chris Godwin because of certain games played. But second or third most points per game scored last year. And yeah, Matthew Stafford having back issues is not something new to us. So I'll take Puka Nacua there at the 109. Looking at my rankings in particular on the Flock site, which again, if you become a season pass holder, you can gain access to not only my rankings, but the entire Flock site point blank period. It is the best deal in the industry. It's not even close. It's about $1.60 per week until the end of the season. But if you look at my specific rankings on the Flock site, you'll see I put Puka Nacua just right behind Malik Neighbors, but in the same tier as your Nikos, Amon-Ra's, Brian Thomas's. So I don't mind if you have a specific player there that you want to target. So after I went Puka Nacua, Mr. Brian Thomas off the board, Nico Collins, Genty, Achane, Henry, and McCaffrey. So, a lot of people ask, ooh, yeah, this puts me in an awkward position because I just got outside of a tier with McCaffrey and Achane. I do love Bowers. Would I take Bucky this early? I don't think Bucky or Chase Brown this early is crazy. We'll grab Bucky. We'll grab Bucky for now and see how this plays out. We'll see how this feels. What's up, Shaku says, will Flock ever do a meetup in Cali? Probably not in Cali, but I don't want to say 100% no, but right now I don't anticipate that happening, but it certainly is a possibility. And thank you for bringing up the meetup, by the way, because I want to let everybody know that we will be in Austin, Texas. This is August 17th. I'd love for you to come meet us, myself, Badaki, all the other creators on the Flock site, the whole crew. Revelry Kitchen and Bar in Austin, Texas from 4:30 to 8:30 p.m. Would love to see you guys there. Would love to meet you. Although I will say in advance, I'm sorry. I am I'm not the best at like meeting new people, so I'm gonna try my best. I'm not the best at like, some people have this gift where they meet a new person and they just make them feel so welcome. I am, I'm a grower, not a shower. Okay, can't turn it on straight away, so I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try my best to grow for you. Help. All right, so after Bucky Irving goes, we have Drake London, Brock Bowers, Chase Brown, A.J. Brown, Josh Jacobs, Ladd McConkey, Jonathan Taylor. And then Kyron Williams and Trey McBride. I like that little turn there from Johnny Boy. He started with 3 different positions, but man, that team is nasty. That team is nasty. Actually, what's the thought process behind the Bucky pick? Well, if you guys have watched my content this offseason, you'll know how comfortable I am with Bucky. I honestly find it incredibly confusing how everyone was so excited about Devon Achane after his rookie year. Like last year in drafts, people were talking about round 2 Devon Achane, and they were loving it. They were like, this guy's going to win you your league. Look at what he did as a rookie. What could he possibly do in his second season? He's a clear starter. Look at the trends from one year to the next. I mean, if you look at Bucky Irving's rookie year compared to like Devon Achane's rookie year, Bucky had more touches per game. They had similar yards per game. From week 10 onwards, Bucky scored at more points per game compared to their rookie seasons. And everyone was all in on Devon Achane after his rookie season. Not a guy with a high draft capital, but showed he can be an elite player. But for some reason now people are worried to make the pick in round 2. I can't really wrap my head around it, honestly. But yeah, to me, Bucky is kind of the equivalent of Achane last year, but you're getting a better offense. So I know not everybody's going to have that same opinion, but you look at must-win games last year. That's week 18 and the wild card game for the Tampa Bay Bucks. Do you guys know what the touch split was but in this backfield? Everybody who's worried about Rachaad White, does anybody know? Anybody want to jump in here? I'm about to make my pick, and we will grab... weird place to be. I think I'm going to grab Ken Walker here. Okay, so the last 2 games of the season, must-win games, Week 18 and the wild card. The Bucks gave Bucky Irving 21.5 touches per game. That same Tampa Bay Bucks in must-win games gave Rachaad White 1.5 touches per game, 1.5 touches per game. So, yeah, I feel like Bucky already took the job. He's the starting guy. His historical season is incredibly good for rookies. He's the only rookie in the last 2.5 decades to average 14.5 points per game, over 5 yards per carry, 47 plus receptions, and 1,000 rushing yards. In the last 2.5 decades, you will not find another rookie running back that has accomplished that outside of Bucky Irving. So that's my opinion. I am a Bucky guy. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone here, but yeah, I feel like he's a very easy pick for me to make. Young, ascending player and a great offense who already shown he can be elite. But I know a lot of people worried about Rachaad White for some reason, so I know that narrative is out there. Appreciate y'all for being here with us. After I took Walker, we have Adams, Kamara, Evans, Tyreek, Jackson. And thinking this through logically, knowing on the edges that you can get Devontae Adams in the 3rd round over a first-round Puka, I do start to think about it a little bit differently. As in, should I really take Puka at this point if I know Devontae is going to be available late 3rd? You know, that's a question I'm starting to ask myself as we're practicing for the mock draft. Hey, if I can start Neighbors, Nico, or Brian Thomas, and then get Adams in the 3rd, is that not attractive to me? It is very attractive to me as a Devontae Adams guy this year. So we'll have to think that through as we go. But I appreciate y'all being here with us. Do me a favor, hit that like button and show some love. We got a like goal today of 75 likes. And if we reach it, we're going to pop off another mock draft where you can join me and the community and get some practice in. So be a friend, smash that like button. Also, something I didn't get to say yet on stream, but is getting incredibly exciting. We haven't talked about this all offseason. Guys, do you see that number at the top of your screen? We're getting close. I didn't think we'd get this close this quickly, but we're getting close to 50K. And my God, I appreciate you guys. When we reach 50K, that will be one incredible achievement. Have bigger goals for this year overall, but to reach 50K before the season even begins, that would be incredible. I appreciate y'all for being here with me. So after I took Marvin Harrison in the 4th, we have Sutton, Hubbard, Terry, Daniels, and Hurts who come off the board there. And anytime you can get an elite quarterback that late down the board, you're doing something right. You're doing something right. I'll tell you that. Appreciate y'all for being here. Trying to keep up with the chat. Elijah says, shout out to the dogs born in 94. Tell me how you feel about Ginty going in the middle of round 1. Personally, I'm starting to dig it. I'm in on Ginty as like a late. I would rather him be my 2nd round pick. You know, I start an elite receiver, a Neighbors, Amon-Ra, Brown, Puka, Nico, and then tack on a Ginty after that. But this entire offense is going to be built around Ashton Ginty. He's going to see. I would be shocked. I would be genuinely shocked if he doesn't touch the ball 19 plus touches per game. And the amount of talent he is, the amount of times this team is going to be down in games needing to throw the ball, I would be shocked if Ginty is a bust. Sure, he might not have RB1 ceiling. Like, he might not be a Bijan, a Saquon, a Gibbs because of the offense that he's in. But, man, if you're looking for an elite player with elite volume, I think that's exactly what you're getting with Ginty. Those guys are very, very, very rare. And I don't know. Maybe this makes me different. But I'm sure we all agree on this. I'm kidding. We're not worried about Raheem Mostert. We're not worried about Raheem Mostert taking touches in that backfield. Colin says, do you think Drake London's a good wide receiver 1 in a 10-team league? In a 10-teamer, I guess it depends on your scoring. I don't mind if he's my wide receiver 1, but the way I like to start my drafts is with that elite wide receiver and then get a couple running backs in the next couple rounds. But yeah, I mean, I don't dislike it. I have my preferences, as we all do, I'm sure. NMB says, what would you do? Keep McBride with the 4th rounder or Kittle with a 5th rounder? That's a great question. As Jameson goes 1 pick ahead of me, I love me some Jameson Williams. Guys, Patrick Mahomes is available. Just want to let everybody know. Patrick Mahomes is available. Someone draft him, please. All right, we're going to grab Tet McMillan or T-Mac here as our 3rd wide receiver at the 509. I was hoping at the 509 to draft 3 to 4 different players. Oh, Caleb, I was hoping was going to fall to me in the 6th. I think that's probably unrealistic. That's my bad. But 3 of those players were Jameson Williams, Travis Hunter, and T-Mac. The other one was George Pickens. And typically I do go George Pickens. Y'all know I love me some George. But I wanted to grab a little T-Mac here. If I'm getting T-Mac at the end of the 5th round, I will probably have him on every team I draft. I'm going to be honest with y'all. For a second. And Angel says, would you pick Bucky at the 201? Probably not, because he's not in the same tier for me as a McCaffrey, Achane, Ginty, Collins, Thomas, Puka. And I imagine if you're taking him there, then you're taking him over one of those other names. But if you want to get wild, get wild. Fantasy football is supposed to be fun, right? Obviously, I'm always going to present to you, my opinions, the research behind my opinions, the rationale. But ultimately, don't forget that you should be having fun in fantasy football. It shouldn't be so rigid. I know there's a lot of people out there who their nerves get the best of them in a fantasy football draft, and they start to lose it a little bit. Just let it loose, loosey goosey. Have fun with this thing. If you're not having fun with fantasy football, stop playing fantasy football. You know what I mean? All right, so Olave comes off the board there at the 602. And I've got a plan, Stan. I've got a plan. If Kalani will let me, I'm going to draft one of the most underrated running backs in fantasy football this year, Isaiah Pacheco. It's not fun drafting with everyone who knows all of your opinions. I just hope you guys know that. All right. It's not fun. Welcome home, Roma Dunze. Damn it! All right, let's keep up with the chat here. Harrison says, would you rather go early quarterback or early tight end this year? Look, I don't think there's a wrong answer. I think I would rather have whatever the elite guys are fall as far as they could to me. So, for example, like if in your league, Josh Allen's going to go in round 2. I don't want to take Josh Allen in round 2, you know, but if you're telling me Kittle's going to go in round 5, then yeah, I'm going to say, let's take George Kittle there, you know? So I think it depends on like what of the, how do I explain this? Like what of the elite onesies are available the latest? And actually, you know, as far as like a team construction thing, I just released a video today, which I think is going to be incredibly helpful to anybody out there in drafts. And the video basically asked the question, all right, in drafts, what are some steps that I should take in order to build the best fantasy team possible? It's called Follow These 10 Steps to Win Any Fantasy Draft. Draft Like a Pro is the thumbnail. If you haven't watched it, definitely go give it a watch or watch it later. I'll put it in the chat. But it's 10 things, actually 11 things total that I do in every fantasy football draft I'm in. And even if you're a veteran, there's going to be things in there that are going to be helpful as reminders. If you're a newbie, it's a must watch. But yeah, I'm excited for you guys to watch that video. Appreciate y'all big time. All right. No worries, Colin. Appreciate you for being here. Elite Team says, who took Lamb at the 2? They must be really high on him. I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy taking Lamb at the 2 spot. I mean, we've got quick to forget mindsets in fantasy football. And I think a lot of us, like, if Dak Prescott doesn't go down with an injury last year, where is CeeDee Lamb being drafted this year? You know what I mean? Genuine question. Tell me, if Dak Prescott doesn't get injured last year, where is CeeDee Lamb going this year? Because I think we forget how elite he was with a healthy Dak Prescott. I mean, we're just a year removed from him averaging almost 24 points per game, guys. I mean, look at the right side of your screen here. This is the comparison tool on the Flock site. On the right side of your screen, you can see 23 points per game in 2023 with a healthy Dak Prescott. That was #1 amongst wide receivers. He averaged more points per game than pretty much anyone not named Christian McCaffrey. So, of course, his numbers were down without a healthy Dak Prescott, but yet still, the guy was able to average almost 18 points per game without Dak Prescott. So, I don't think it's crazy. Maybe I'm wild. Maybe I'm the insane one, but I don't think it's crazy. And by the way, this tool I use all the time in my content. You'll probably notice I always use the comparison tool. And that is one of the tools, one of the many, many tools that you get when you become a season pass member with the Flock site. Again, the best deal in the industry. I'm sorry I'm sounding like a salesman, but genuinely, $34 for the entire year to get access to the entire site, all the tools, my rankings, vouchers to ask me questions on a live stream for your fantasy team, the ability to jump into real league raffles with our community. It is by far the best deal in the industry. As I'm on the clock here in the 7th, the running backs are gross. I know I don't need a receiver, but you can't pay me to draft a running back here. What the hell am I looking at? So we're just going to keep punting this, and I think... Oh, we're going to grab Ricky Pearsall. That would be my highest ranked player here. We'll grab Slick Ricky there. We got too many receivers, but I'm not going to draft a shitty running back over a receiver that I love. It's just not going to happen. Chris says, that was a great video. Very informative in a way most wouldn't think about. I appreciate that, man. Elite says, I'm just saying, never seen someone take C at the 102. At the end of the day, the O-line matters. That's, I mean, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong. All right, so in the 7th round, these running backs are just getting pushed up the board. I mean, when Pollard goes in the 6th, you know, Judkins in the 6th, Brian early 7th, people are, you know, They want these running backs, so maybe that's a mental note I should take. I don't know if the Flock League is going to draft like that or not. It's hard to say. I like Bo Nix. I like Igbuka there at the 7-11. Scattaboo comes off the board. The edges here goes with the Kelsey Mayfield turn, as Joshua Downs is off the board. I just can't bring myself to draft a running back here. I just can't do it. I think I'm going to go tight end. Oh, this is a tough one, man. Yeah, I just think I'm going to go tight end here. Oh, Jordan Mason. I should be drafting from my rankings, not the ADP, because I definitely would have drafted Jordan Mason. Damn, good pick. What's up, Daniel? Welcome in, my friend. Welcome in, my friend. Trying to keep up with the chat. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you being here. Thanks for showing some love to the stream. We've already hit 75 likes, which is crazy. Maybe I should have set the like goal higher. Transport myself to the top of the screen so y'all can see the draft board. Tyrone Tracy. Am I the only one who's finding it so difficult to draft Tyrone Tracy? Am I the only one? Like, I get that he's at top of the depth chart, but I just think Cam Scattaboo is a better player. And I just think this offense is probably not going to be that good. And I struggle to see Tyrone Tracy being a dominant back in a bad offense that's going to win you your league. If Scattaboo isn't going to get involved, then that would really shock me. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I mean, I think even if you make the case, well, they're going to be down in games, Scattaboo's a better pass catcher, though. I don't know, man. It's a toughie. All right, so Godwin, Golden, Higgins, Reed. The people who went RB early are getting some awesome values at wide receiver now in this draft. Because of how forced the running backs got put up the board. Actually, they really didn't get forced up the board, but some of you guys, like, for example, Kalani here, you know, they are getting well rewarded with some great receivers like Debo and Downs. I know nobody likes Debo but me, but I'll still stay on that island. What's up, Albert? Welcome in. Shaku says, "Why roam there? I want to know where you were thinking about before you took him." Well, I was spiraling. Let me be very clear. I was spiraling because I wanted to draft Isaiah Pacheco, and I didn't think Kalani was going to go Pacheco because he already had 3 running backs. So with 30 seconds on the clock, I had to make a quick decision, and I'm not drafting with my rankings right now because I haven't printed off my cheat sheet yet, which I'll do here for the Flock League. But I'll be much more prepared when I have my cheat sheet and my own rankings. But Rome Odunze is a guy I think can break out for sure. He's a huge breakout candidate. In fact, if he doesn't break out in year 2, he's going to be somewhat of a historical outlier. Outlier is maybe not the right word, but the vast majority of receivers with his kind of draft capital historically have broken out and been really, really good picks for year 2. As Dobbins comes off the board, yeah. Man, you know, the only running back I really love here is and I can't say I love him, I really like him, is probably Tank Bigsby. So I guess we'll grab Tank Bigsby here. What's up, Badaki in the building? By the way, Badaki is alive. He's well. He's in Brooklyn with his family, and he is actually grinding on version 2 of our draft guide. If you don't know, next week we're in Austin to do the Flock League. And there's a lot that we wanted to put into version 2 of our draft guide. So this man is just offline grinding, trying to get version 2 of our draft guide up for you guys. I can't express how much better version 2 of our draft guide is going to be than version 1. I genuinely can't express how much better it's going to be. What's up, Neezy? Says, what's your rationale behind the 3-9 pick with Ken Walker? I love Ken Walker this year. I really am excited to see him in that Clint Kubiak scheme. I think that scheme fits Ken Walker a lot better. The way that they're speaking about Ken Walker, the way that they want to utilize him, I mean, they're saying things like, you know, how often can he touch the ball per game? We have to think about ways that we can get him more involved. How can we get him more targets out of the backfield? So everything that they're saying is incredibly encouraging. And actually, it's funny. There's a report that literally just came out. This is from Mike. I believe this is Mike Dugar from The Athletic. I believe he covers the Seahawks podcast. Let me read this for you in a second, right after I make my next pick. And maybe I can sell some of you guys on Ken Walker. Trey Benson, damn, I love me some Trey. But that's okay. We're going to go ahead and grab Zach Charbonnet, just in case there is anything that goes on with Ken Walker. I like that pick there. Let me read you this, okay? So this is, again, Mike Dugar. He works for The Athletic, and he is covers the Seahawks. So this is about Clint Kubiak's system. So they say things like, I believe him because that's what we work on in practice. This is Ken Walker. He says, you can say the past years we didn't practice it as much, so you know we're not going out to the game and do it, but we've been practicing it a lot, and we're real detailed with the run game. So I believe it wholeheartedly that we're going to go out and run the ball. The scheme Kubiak said allows the coaches to give players clear, concise, consistent coaching points. He goes on to say, we can call one run probably 7 different ways, but it's always the same coaching point for the running back. It's the same way the line's blocking a certain front, if you know, like, difference between like a zone and a gap running scheme. So basically, it's a lot of words to say we're going to run the ball a lot in Seattle this year. So I'm a big fan of Ken Walker with that change in the offensive coordinator, with that change in the run scheme. And I think Zach Charbonnet could be a great pick. If you know, and honestly, I'm not afraid if I have Ken Walker to go out and get a Zach Charbonnet, because the reality is, if a Ken Walker goes down with an injury, we've already seen last year Zach Charbonnet's ability to win you weeks. If Zach Charbonnet started every week last year, I mean, the man probably finishes as like a top 8 running back, top 7 running back. That might sound over dramatic to you. I don't think it is. Let's have a look. This is what Zach Charbonnet did last year without Ken Walker. You want to have a look at this together? Let's have a look at this together. So last year in 2024, Zach Charbonnet, 19.2 points per game in 6 games without Ken Walker. 19.2 points per game. So either way, you're getting a starting running back that has top 5 upside every single week. Yeah, I know we all want to handcuff guys that we don't own, and we want the ability to say, like, well, you know, I drafted a running back early, and then I drafted Isaac Orendo, and CMC went down. That's best case scenario. That doesn't always work out. You can also just handcuff the guy like Zach Charbonnet if you know the player that you're drafting has an injury history, right? 19.2 points per game is absolutely ridiculous. And we've seen this year after year where when Ken Walker's healthy, he's the guy that they're feeding. But there's nothing wrong with drafting Ken Walker there and then, you know, kind of handcuffing in the 10th or 11th round. So I'm just very excited about that offense, specifically that run game. All right, so in the 10th round, after I took Zach Charbonnet, we had Chubb, Warren, Williams, Ford, Blue, Burden, Fields, Trey, Najee, Tajay. Try and say that 2 times fast. Najee, Tajay. Najee, Tajay. I wherever you are right now in the world, just try and say those 2 first names back to back. It's almost impossible. Njoku comes off the board at the 11:03. Then we see Keenan Allen at the 11:05. I imagine Keenan's probably going to move up to like the 9th round when all is said and done, now that he's back there with his buddy Justin Herbert. Jared Goff comes off the board there. Brock Purdy comes off the board. That's perfect because our guy Dak Prescott is available. We'll take him there in the 11th round. I kind of have this group of quarterbacks I really love late where, you know, like the Kyler Murrays, the Justin Fields, the Purdys, the Daks. Those are some of my favorite late round quarterbacks. You can even push it further and bet on like a Drake May and double up at quarterback if you want. A Jordan Love and bet on the breakout, the bounce back rather. As Braylon Allen comes off the board there. Let's start lining up this next pick. Shoot. If a certain player keeps falling, we might just have to draft him. Man, the wide receivers are disgusting here. Pop Douglas is interesting. I love Jalen Noel. But the wide receivers are gross. I think I know what I'm going to do here. We're going to go ahead and draft the future RB1 for the Washington Commanders. Or is it Redskins? I don't know. We're going to draft Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, JCM here in the 12th round. Maybe too early, but could this be this year's Isaiah Pacheco? I don't know. I loved watching this guy out of Arizona, but he actually only played one game with Arizona due to eligibility issues. But this man's got some juice. When I tell you JCM has some juice, I can't tell as a Commanders fan. I can't tell if it's because there is literally no juice in our backfield. Like, think about it for a second. You're watching JCM, and you're watching him play beside Brian Robinson, the ghost of Austin Eckler, and a bunch of nobodies. So your average running back's probably going to look like they got some juice. But, yeah. We'll take a shot on him here in the 12th round. There's almost a guarantee that everybody we're drafting anyway is going to be useless. So, trying to keep up with everyone in the chat, but you guys are awesome. Appreciate you for being here. Chef says, can't stay long tonight. Waivers just opened in my home league. Oh, wow. So you guys already drafted, or is that a dynasty league? I wonder. Rock Out says, has anyone seen the new ESPN Fantasy app update? I haven't, but I've heard incredibly bad things about it. Is there something I should know about the ESPN app? I don't draft on ESPN, honestly. But we'll have a look at their ADP and try and exploit it in a video for you guys. But I haven't seen the new ESPN. But I've heard everyone trashing on it. What's bad about it? Like, what has changed? I don't even know what to search. Like, how do I even search to find it? I don't know. This is a tweet from someone called Randy Johnson. Probably not the real Randy Johnson, but he's showing the app here. Is this what it? That's not awful. I mean, ESPN's, in my opinion, never been a great app anyway for fantasy football. I don't know. I don't know. That's not terrible. It doesn't look great, granted. I mean, no one's going to sit here and lie to you and say, yeah, it looks great. But Style says, should we do an ESPN mock draft for shits and gigs? Maybe we should. The last time I tried to do that, they made me create an account or something. And I don't think I wanted to give them my information. All right, you guys smash the like goal. Let's jump into another mock draft here. If you're just joining us, you can jump into our mock drafts by step 1, joining our Discord. All right. And then when you're in the Discord, right under the land tab, you see where it says land there. Under the land tab, there's a mock drafts tab. This is where I'm going to send that link. And I'm going to go ahead and have Nightbot give you a link to the Discord itself. Okay. So you can see Johnny Boy's there. Nick is there. Bing is there. That's where we're going to be sending this link out for the new mock. Here's what I will say. Dalton Kincaid, great pick. If you were in the first mock draft, please don't join the second one. It's not because I don't want to hang out with you. It's just simply because I want everyone to have an opportunity to practice. Okay, I want everyone to have the same opportunity to practice for their home leagues. So I'm taking a mental note of everyone in this mock draft. If you try and join the next one, I will publicly shame you. I'm not afraid of doing it, okay? So Johnny Boy, Weston, Tiny, Fritz, Styles, Nate, C Park, Bad Karma, Kalani, Mike, and Goomba. I am not afraid to publicly shame you should I need to, okay? So just keep that in mind if you try and join this next one. I want everyone to have an opportunity. Here we go. Here we go. It's dropping. It's dropping in 3, 2, 1. It's dropping in 3, 2, 1. And it's out there. It's out there. It's going to fill. It's going to fill pretty quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for being here. Okay, so Ryan says, I don't think it's awful. He's talking about the ESPN one. Buddy says, I recently updated my ESPN app, and other than the icon on the home screen looking different, my draft screen did not look anything like that. Interesting. All right, so this filled up. Did we have anyone who joined from the last one? I don't think so. We don't have to publicly shame anyone, do we? I don't think we do. Hey, give yourselves a round of applause here, okay? Shout out to everybody helping the community out here. All right, here we go. Let's get this started. 1 quarterback, PPR, 30 seconds on the clock. Start 8. And let's get this thing popping here. Roxanne, you don't have to stay, love. New ESPN layout sucks. How do I find it? How do I find the ESPN? Like, if I go ESPN Fantasy Football mock draft, will I see it if I try and get to one of their mock drafts? Let's see. Okay, hold on. Let's let me just join like a regular, I don't know, like a 10-team PPR or something. Oh, it's on the mobile app that is different. So is it not different on the website? Okay, never mind. I won't waste my time then. The new UI is on the mobile. So how many of you are playing on ESPN? Oops. Oh, that's who I was going to pick anyway, so that works out well. Welcome home, Justin Jefferson. How many of you guys are on ESPN? How many of you dinosaurs? I'm kidding. I'm joking. There's no wrong way to play fantasy. All right. Everyone has their preferences with different apps. The right way to play fantasy is playing fantasy. All right. So you can play wherever you want. I'm just kidding. Style says, I haven't played an ESPN since 2019. A lot of people saying they're on both. Okay. All right. Wait, I just realized Bijan fell to the 106 here. That's wild. Then Neighbors, Amon-Ra, Puka, Brian, Nico, Ginty to end round 1. A lot of people are saying they're playing in multiple platforms. Buddy says, my whole leagues are on Yahoo and Sleeper, but I like using ESPN mock drafts. Elijah loves ESPN. Happen says, finally got my home league to move to Sleeper, thank God. Yeah, I do think Sleeper is probably the best one out there. Chef Keith says, just for your information, I killed it on the rookie draft. Walked away with Ginty, Henderson, Egbuka, Golden, Hunter, Ferguson, Arroyo, and Brashard Smith. That's one hell of a haul, my friend. Good on you, bro. That's a nice haul. Nice haul. All right. Took Jefferson here at the 105, and I thought I was about to grab Bucky Irvin. But he does go. But that's fine. Let's grab Chase Brown. I love Chase Brown, man. Okay. My Guys video is officially recorded. It is in the process of being edited. And I actually tweeted this out yesterday. I said, I just recorded my Guys episode. Who do you think made the list? Now, that's going to come out your Monday. My Guys video will be out. And I'm going to come back to this tweet, and we're going to have a look together. And we're going to see how many of you guys got names right. I can confirm some of you are on the nose. Some of you are very far off. Some of you are on the nose. Some of you are far off. But I am excited for my official My Guys to come out this year. Always one of my favorite videos to record. And I don't think I just brought so much information. I didn't expect it to be as long as it is. Like, I thought it would be like a 15-minute video. I think it's more like 23 to 24. But I also brought like 11 My Guys this year, so maybe that's my fault. All right, so we do see like the elite Allens, McBride's come off the board. Jackson at the 302. Dexter is on the clock here. He's about to get auto-picked. He goes Kyron. Okay, Kyron comes off the board. Aquila. Damn it. I was looking at Kyron and Taylor on the board thinking, oh my gosh. That's a tough place to be here. Let's try this for fun. What happens if we take Hampton at the 305? How does it feel? That's why we're mock drafting. Okay? We're having fun. We're trying different things. Did I snipe you, Chris? I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I did. So I apologize, Landon. I don't know. Jonathan Taylor in the 3rd round is pretty crazy. I thought I was about to start my draft with Jefferson, Chase, and Jonathan Taylor. That would have been wild. Yeah, you know, JSN, I find it interesting. There's a lot of people who are not in on JSN. And I think this is probably a lot of the ESPN crowd. I'm not saying this like disrespectfully or anything. But if you look at ESPN's ADP, we looked at this yesterday. JSN has an ADP of like 36 or something on the ESPN app, which honestly, even if you're not a JSN guy, that seems incredibly late to me. 36 overall is basically the 3-4 turn. So he's either a 3rd or a 4th round pick. So I know a lot of people play on ESPN. We all love ESPN, but I thought that was a little surprising personally to see him go that late on ESPN's ADP. I think ESPN is probably messing up there. Grant says, in my ESPN home league, Jason fell to me in the 4th in a 13-man league. Hold on. How does a 13-man league? So does that mean everyone has a bye week or something? Like how do you work that out, Grant? How do you work a 13-man league? Are you guys just all playing against the median? But how would the median even work? Because there's an odd man out. Is there ties? Does the odd man out get a tie per week? Is it a median? I don't. Life is like a box of chocolates. Grant says everyone but one person has a bye week. So does that one person get an advantage? Because they... Wouldn't they have an advantage, or am I stupid? All right, we're gonna grab Jalen Hurts here. Yeah, wait, wouldn't that one person have an advantage because they can win more? I guess they could lose more. I mean, hey, I would rather you play with more of your friends than less of your friends. So I'm glad you're playing with your friends, but that's yeah. There's a reason I'm talking about fantasy football online and not curing cancer. So couldn't figure that one out myself. Chef says, I wanted to know if I should target Palmer or Thornton. Yeah, I mean, Palmer, I think we know who Josh Palmer is at this point. So if you're wanting to stash someone, I think Thornton's a better stash. ESPN rankings are a little wonky. Elijah says it's all the old heads. Yeah, that's probably true. Damn! Caleb's going at the 5-1 now. Jeez. James Conner, Harvey, Caleb off the board. Henderson off the board. I was genuinely hoping for Henderson next, so that's disappointing. Man, honestly, I probably would have gone running back if I knew all 4 of those guys were going to be gone. I was just waiting on one of those guys at the 505 between Connor, Harvey, Johnson, and Henderson. Yeah, I probably would have just gone running back. Oh, there's some great players available here, though. Ooh. Yes, please. I'll take a little Jameson in the 5th. I'll take a little Jameson Williams. Jay says, so I just watched your tip video and I watched your art. By the way, when he says my tip video, I'm not on OnlyFans or something. It's just I released a video where I talk about fantasy tips, and it's basically like, hey, if you're a veteran or if you're a newbie, this video, follow these 10 steps, and it's gonna help you in your fantasy draft. So just want to be very clear. He says, I watched your Anchor RB video, and I was wondering what happens with that strategy in a Superflex league. It's incredible that you asked this, Jaced, because here's what's funny. This is okay. I think this is funny. So, if you're in a Superflex league, my strategy video is not going to help you at all, because this video is not built around Superflex leagues, okay? And my video editor, his home league is a Superflex league. A lot of us in Dynasty, we're all playing Dynasty here. We play in a lot of Superflex leagues, but there's like this. It kind of brings you back to like your first love with redraft and one quarterback. It's just this feeling of like when you first started playing fantasy football with like your dad growing up or your friends growing up, it was one quarterback. But I say all this to say, when I dropped that video, so many people were asking about Superflex. That was not the case last year. Last year when I dropped my strategy video, we maybe had like 4 or 5 comments about Superflex. This year when I dropped my strategy video, the amount of people asking about Superflex or 2 quarterback leagues, it is shocking. So my video editor asked me about it. Well, I'm in a Superflex league, Zach. I don't know if this helps me. And then I thought to myself, okay, is Superflex getting popular enough to the point where I can make a strategy video on it and it won't bust? I said, you know what? The very likely outcome is that if I make a strategy video based around Superflex leagues, it's going to bust. It's going to tank completely. But I said, YOLO, let's try it. So tomorrow, there's going to be a Superflex strategy video that's going to release on this channel for the very first time ever. And if you're in a Superflex league, I got to tell you, if that video busts, I'm not going to do any more Superflex content, okay? Just being 100% honest with you, okay? I'm releasing a strategy for Superflex tomorrow, and if the video busts, you can say goodbye to any Superflex strategy content or, Superflex, type of angles on the channel. So if you're a Superflex person, you need to turn the notifications on and get ready for the video tomorrow, because if it don't go well, it's probably the last Superflex video you're going to see from me, okay? But I do like Superflex content or Superflex format, just to be clear. So anyway, it's funny you asked that, because my long answer is tomorrow there will be a video specifically for you Superflex people. All right. Jameson Williams was my pick in the 5th. I was hoping a Travis Hunter might fall to me. A Roma Dunze might fall to me. I hate being in drafts with Daniel Macy. I hate it. And I hate it because he and I think the same way pretty consistently. We have very similar thoughts on players. There's a couple of you guys out there where we pretty much align on almost every player, which makes it incredibly difficult to draft amongst you. All right, well, that sucks. That was the last running back I wanted to draft. Wow. Okay. Pivot. All right. We'll take Chris Olave there. We'll take Chris Olave at the 608. It doesn't feel good, but we did it. Anyway, appreciate everybody for being here with me. Do me a favor, hit that like button. We are almost over, well, we're over 100 likes now, which is crazy. I appreciate y'all for being here with me. Thanks for showing some love to the stream. Okay, apparently I sniped Jay here. I apologize. Trying to keep up with the chat. You guys are awesome. I appreciate the love so much. Let's see. Trey's here. He says, haven't caught a live stream in a minute. What's your thoughts on Harvey being listed as an RB5 by Sean Payton? You know, my thoughts are I hope it pushes his ADP down. I hope it turns him in from a 4th round pick to a 6th round pick. But yeah, I honestly, quite frankly, I think it's one of, look, 99% sure that it's a formality. Yeah. I don't see a scenario where RJ Harvey is genuinely going to be behind these other names. You know, the Audric Estimes, the Jaleel McLaughlins. Yeah, I just don't believe it at all. And we've seen this a lot in the past. This is not unique to RJ Harvey. It's not uncommon to see, you know, coaches play a game like this. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. You know, some people ask, what is a Superflex League? A Superflex League is where you can start up to 2 quarterbacks in your lineup. So, let me actually show you, like, a Superflex League in one of our follower leagues. This is what a Superflex League looks like. So, you see how I have starting quarterback there with Mahomes? Well, then at the bottom, you see this? It means you can flex wide receiver, running back, tight end, or quarterback. That's your Superflex spot. So, you can start 2 quarterbacks in your lineup. And if you don't know, you know, quarterbacks on average score more points than any other position. They're also incredibly difficult to find, good ones. So that changes strategy drastically, as you might imagine. And it makes drafts really, really interesting. I was going to take Ricky Pearsall there. I think we're going to ride the Judkins train here and just see what happens. All right, trying to keep up with the chat. You guys are awesome. Actually, I think we have some questions on the Flock site, but I never started the stream. Badaki, are you watching still? Is Badaki watching still? I'm going to need his help. All right, so Judkins comes off the board, then Deebo Samuel, who I was considering there myself. Tony Pollard, Mahomes, and Tracy. When is the Flock League draft going to be? The Flock League draft is in 9 days. 9 days from now. Pretty crazy. Yeah, Trey, I agree. I think JK is going to be the starter out of the gate. That wouldn't surprise me at all. But Colin says, I've never seen a Superflex League before. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, it is pretty interesting. You know, most dynasty, I'm not in a 1 quarterback dynasty league, actually. Almost like all of my dynasty leagues are Superflex. You know, this like Daniels, Bucky, Ken Walker. But you see Daniels and then at the bottom, Goff, Fields. I can put Fields in there, but I can also put any other position. And, you know, it kind of highlights quarterbacks a little bit more. To be fair, like, quarterbacks are the showtime of the NFL. You know, they're the most important players. They get paid the most. So I guess it puts a little bit more love on them. But yeah. Joshua says, Sean Payton has always listed rookies lowest on depth charts. Harvey's spot right now means nothing. And I agree with you there. All right, let's start eyeing up our next pick here. Let's put together a little plan. And ultimately, we know that that plan is just going to get ruined by someone. So it probably doesn't matter. As yeah, I was going to draft Jordan Mason. That was my plan. Of course, I said Daniel Macy. Daniel Macy always ruins all my drafts. I hate drafting with Daniel Macy. But I love Daniel Macy. But I hate drafting with him. Because he ruins every draft I'm in. Damn it, Daniel. Okay. Okay. Baker Mayfield off the board. And picking a running back here just feels gross. I feel like I'm forcing it. Look at the wide receivers available. How can I pick a running back with these wide receivers available? I'm going to grab Jaden Higgins. Welcome home, buddy. Effie. You know, there are people in Dynasty who just don't like redraft at all. I love both. I love both. There's like this nostalgia to the redraft format. Superflex is really fun, yeah. I mean, I would suggest having leagues where you play in both formats. I'm not a fan of like only being in Superflex leagues or only being in one quarterback. I would rather play in multiple formats. I want to play as fantasy in as many different ways as I possibly can. You know what I mean? So. After I took Higgins, we have Golden, Purdy, and Jennings coming off the board. So sorry. It's so difficult to keep up with the chat, and I don't have my sidekick with me. Mike says redraft is OG. That's where it started for me. On paper with a real draft board. Hell yeah. We're going to have a real draft board in the Flock League, so I'm excited about that. As Charbonnet goes in the 9th round. All right. Man, I still feel like wide receiver is the best player available. I don't know. Let's see how we're going to play this. See, Ryan's got 2 running backs. He's trying to figure out what to do here, I think. So he grabs Trey. I mean, Dexter's chilling. He actually needs to hit on wide receivers. So he's probably loving this right now. Brandon Ayuk coming off the board there. Oh, boy. Welcome home, Joshy. Welcome home, Joshua Downs. Look at that wide receiver room. We'll figure out the rest later. All right? Don't look at the running backs. All right. We are going to answer a couple questions on the Flock Fantasy website. I accidentally didn't put the right time code. So, Nate, when you're seeing this reply, just know we're in the second mock draft of the day, and Badaki in the back end is going to give you a time code to where we are right now. And I think right now in the stream, Badaki, I think we're at I think we're at 1 hour and 2 minutes, 30 seconds. But he says, need a second productive vet. Think I can get CMC or Kamara. What's best option to trade away? So it looks like he can send away Benson in a second for CMC. I love Trey Benson, but I think that's as cheap as you're going to find CMC, man. You're not going to find CMC cheaper than that in a 1 quarterback start 8. Yeah, that's just, and if you're asking me between CMC and Kamara, I prefer CMC, and he's in a better offense. I love Trey Benson. You're not going to find someone talking more about Trey Benson this offseason than I have. But I'm taking the CMC side of this, especially if you're in a win now mode. If you're in a win now mode, it's a no-brainer. Appreciate you asking the question, though, my friend. So after I took Downs, we had Etienne, Murray, Ingram, Jaden Reed. I think someone just got auto Jonnu Smith. Anytime Jonnu Smith gets drafted, I pretty much assume that it's an auto pick, but I could be wrong. We've also got Nasty Nick. Oh, Nick is nasty in them sheets, kid. He says keep 2. And again, Nick, if you're watching this, unfortunately, the time code that you're going to get is not accurate. We're in the second mock draft, and Badaki is going to try and send you a time code. Badaki, the time code right now is 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 30 seconds or something, okay? Okay. He says keep 2. JJ in round 1, Barkley round 1, round 2, Lamb round 2, McBride round 4, or Jaden Daniels round 5. I need to know if this is a super flex or 1 quarterback. If it's super flex, Jaden Daniels. If it's 1 quarterback, I would probably say round 2 CeeDee Lamb. I'd have a tough time passing up on round 2 CeeDee Lamb, Nasty Nick. Get nasty, Nick. Appreciate the question, though. If you guys want to ask questions on the Flock Fantasy website, I'll have Nightbot send a message through to you. But it's a great way to support the show and to get me to answer your questions straight away. Okay, so we got a little cluster of tight ends here with Ingram, Jonnu Smith, Tyler Warren, and Colson Loveland. We've got Najee, Javonte Williams, Jaden Blue off the board. So Jaden Blue and Javonte, they're going back to back. I actually think we're going to see their ADP flop. I think we're going to see Jaden Blue go higher than Javonte here soon. Dobbins that late is a very good pick. I have to be honest. It's a good pick. There goes Darnell Mooney at the 10-5. All right, Daniel Macy, who are you going to snipe me from this time? I just know you're eyeing it up. All right. I just know you're eyeing it up every time. Every time I know you're going to snipe me, Daniel. It's official. I'm not letting you in any of the leagues this year. Daniel Macy's out of here. You're gone. You're not invited to any league, Macy. I'm just kidding. Someone asked me earlier what my plan for Judkins was in the 7th round. So the plan was, if I looked at the board, there's not another running back that has anywhere near the upside or the pedigree of a Judkins. And the plan was, later down the board, let's go ahead and handcuff him with Jerome Ford, who I think will be the starter to begin the year. And then let's see what happens. So that was the plan there with Judkins. Someone asked that question. I can't remember who it was, but one of you guys... it was Colin there. So that was the thinking there, is I know I can get Jerome Ford late or Dylan Sampson late, and I might as well grab Judkins. You know, if I'm looking at the running back room and I can draft between names like Pollard and Tracy and Warren, and you know, I'm just gonna take Judkins and try to fill out the rest of my roster and hit on late guys later on. So that's the overall thought process. People are asking for another mock draft. All right, let's set a like goal then. What are we at right now? We're at 116. Okay, what's reasonable? Is 150 reasonable? Let's try it. Look, can we reach 150 likes? What do we think? Can we reach 150 likes and we'll get a third mock draft going in? Let's see. Can we do it? Go ahead and be a friend. Smash that like button. If we reach 150 likes, math says we can do it. We've got 215 people watching. So be a friend, smash that like button. And by the way, in case you're just joining us, look at this number at the top of your screen right there. You see that? We're getting close. So if you're kind of lurking right now and you haven't subscribed, it's a great day to subscribe. Let's get closer to 50K today. All right. Just one day at a time. Can you give me one day? Can you give me one day? I appreciate y'all for being here with us. All right. So Tootin comes off the board. Scootin' Tootin. We've got Michael Pittman off the board. Ramondre Stevenson. And look, have I lost my mind? Have I lost my mind? Someone tell me. I think I might have lost my mind because 11th round. What's a killer going to do here? What's a killer going to do? Okay, 11th round Mark Andrews. Talk to me, people. 11th round Mark Andrews. I mean, I'm not the biggest Mark Andrews guy. But 11th round as my tight end 1? I mean, we're on track for a 25 reception year with 15 touchdowns with Mark Andrews. Let's be real. Yeah, I'll take Mark. I'll take Mark in the 11th. Welcome on board, bud. Again, appreciate y'all big time for being here, showing some love to the stream. We are currently just 20 likes away from 150, which is the goal in order for us to do another mock draft. So smash that like button to show some love. Let's get to 150 together and pop off another mock draft. Let's see. Trying to keep up with the chat here. Joey says, when's the flock draft? In 9 days, my friend. Just 9 days away from the flock draft. Actually, technically, you guys are in America, so for you guys, we are actually 10 days away. But I'm in the future. So actually, I have to fly and then I lose a day. So yeah, let's say 10 days away then. It's getting close. Antonio says, I was going to take Andrews just to irritate you, but refrained. I appreciate that. Connor says, Andrews is available in the 15th round of a 10-man start 11, no premium startup. I like that. I like that. What's up, Matt? Best ball content or tips? We're drafting best ball over here. We'll get into one here later on tonight. We'll jump into a best ball later on. Cameron says, would you recommend 4-point or 6-point passing touchdown? I don't think there's a wrong answer, guys. I really don't think there's a wrong answer. The answer is whatever your league is the most comfortable with, whatever your league enjoys the most. That is ultimately the right answer in my mind. However, what I will say is the way we do it in my leagues is 6-point passing touchdowns. And that's simply because a touchdown is worth 6 points everywhere. Think about this. A touchdown is worth 6 points in the real NFL. You get 6 points for your team. A touchdown for a wide receiver is worth 6 points. For a tight end is worth 6 points. For a running back is worth 6 points. But for some reason, because a quarterback throws the ball, people want to dock them and only give them 4 points. I don't understand it. So we've always played in 6-point passing touchdown leagues. In your one quarterback formats, that makes those top end quarterbacks, even better picks. So personally, I go with the 6-point passing touchdown format, but I don't think there's a wrong answer. And my goodness, Team 11 is going hard on the tight ends. Brother has more tight ends than running backs through 12 rounds. Oh my gosh. I mean, I respect the hustle. CJ Stroud going off the board in the 12th round. Have we got some targets here? Let's think this through. Rachaad White's not a bad pick there, honestly. Rashid Shaheed goes. Ray Davis is not a bad pick. Oh, I'm on the clock. I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, I could draft this guy if if he's not taken next. Okay, I'm on the clock. Yeah, my bad. We'll grab Braylon Allen here in the 12th. I'm sitting there like a dumbass just waiting for my pick when I'm already on the clock. Yep. Anyway, I appreciate y'all for being here with us. This mock draft is almost over. We have a like goal today of 150 likes. And that like goal is going to bring us into another mock draft. So if you guys want to see another mock draft, you want to join me, you want to get some practice in together. I'm practicing for the Flock League. You can practice for your home league. Then go ahead and like the stream up. We are currently 14 likes away from our goal. So be a friend, smash the like button. Currently 13 likes away from the goal. So we're getting up there. And by the way, I just got to let you know that by far, the Flock site just dropped the best deal the fantasy industry has ever seen. Like, genuinely. I know you don't want me to sell you anything, but I'm being God's honest truth. The season pass this year is the best deal the fantasy industry has ever seen. For just $34 for the entire season. $34 for the entire season. Okay, that's $1.60 per week for the rest of the year. You get access to the entire Flock Fantasy website, all the premium tools over there, like the trade calculator, access to the player comparison tool. You get access to my rankings, not only off-season, but in-season and rest of season rankings, weekly rankings. You get 4 vouchers where you can come on my stream and ask me a question about your fantasy team. You get access to my draft guide, which version 1, by the way, of my draft guide is already up there on the Flock site. If you haven't seen it just yet, let me show you exactly where you can find it. If you go to recent posts over there on the Flock site, then you will see our beautiful 2025 draft guide here by Fantasyland. That's only version 1. Version 2 is going to drop early next week, and I promise you, it is the best draft guide we have ever created. And the best news is that if you want to jump into a real league, let's say like you're out there and you're like, hey, I love redraft, but I don't feel like I have a real reliable league. The good news is each and every single week, we are running real leagues for our community. In fact, tomorrow night, guys, I will be live streaming showing you a real league. We'll be looking at a real fantasy league all the people in that league will be members of our community, and they're either annual Mother Flocker members or they have the 2025 season pass. So if you want to be a part of all that, get the season pass. It is by far the best deal in the industry. Let me put a link in the chat for you again one more time. Sign up with the promo code LAND. DM me if you sign up. I'd love to get you, filling out these forms to get into these leagues. I will go ahead and put in the Discord under the announcements tab. I'm going to put that link in there again for next week's raffle. So right under the announcements tab under LAND, I'll show you here. All right. So in the Discord under LAND, you will see the link, the form for you to join our leagues if you are a LAND member, okay, with the season pass. Appreciate y'all big time again for being here with us, having a lot of fun. How would I feel about this team if it was my team for the Flock League? Honestly, like, full transparency, and this is why we're practicing, I wouldn't be that happy with this team. I think I have way too many question marks. Wide receiver 3 with Olave, I like, but I'm not 100% sold. Judkins as my RB3. I've covered him off with Jerome Ford. I don't hate the team. I just got to be honest. I'm not in love with it either. It's not my favorite team that I've ever drafted. So that's kind of where I stand. Should we jump into another mock draft? We are one like away from our goal of 150. Do me a favor, smash that like button. Let's get into another mock draft together. Yeah. So far, I don't like the 5 spot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like the way the players are falling in the 5 spot. So let's try and maybe get some more practice in here. Practice makes perfect. That's what they say. All right. So I'm going to drop this link to the next mock draft in the Discord, and I'm going to do it under the mock drafts tab. Okay. Now, if you just were in that draft that we just finished, please let other people get a chance to join. Please don't join this mock draft if you've already been in a mock draft today. Let's get as many people an opportunity to practice for the league as possible. Be a nice guy, please. I'm begging you. All right, let's go ahead and send the link out. And I haven't even picked a spot. Oh, damn. I hadn't even picked a spot yet. That was crazy. Appreciate y'all big time for being here, though. Great stream so far. Great stream. You can join the Discord. We've got Nightbot, so you can always do !Discord. Yeah, Nightbot's out there for you guys. You can do exclamation super message if you want a link to, ask a question on the Flock site. Do we have a season pass one? Exclamation season pass. Does Nightbot do that? I don't know if we put season pass in yet or not, but okay, yeah. So we even have the season pass. So, Nightbot's in there for you guys. All right. 1 quarterback, start 8, PPR, practicing for the Flock League. And we're trying it from the back end of the board again here. All right, Jamar Chase at the 101, Bijan at the 102. Beezy is on the clock there. And Saquon Barkley. Okay. All right. I thought we might see a fall in Puka's ADP. I didn't anticipate a rise, but new things happen every day. As Jahmyr Gibbs falls to the 107, gang. Look, there's going to be real chaos in your drafts. Crazy things are going to happen. You gotta be ready for it. You gotta be prepared. We're gonna have a great option at receiver here, no matter what Chid does here at the 108. He goes Amon-Ra, perfect. We'll grab Neighbors at the 109, and I'm liking this start. Hopefully Taylor falls to me this time. I doubt he's gonna fall to the 309, unfortunately. Okay, again, trying to keep up with the chat. Also trying to make sure I don't miss any notifications here. All right, Brian Thomas off the board there at the 111. Dire Wolves back in a mock draft. He's a pretty consistent mock drafter with us here. As he goes Achane, that breaks my heart because my favorite start this year is like a Neighbors Achane, a Nico Achane, a Thomas Achane. So he goes Achane, Genty to start. So let's see what we're gonna get back to us. Just so you guys know, I know it's the 203, but I just wanted to give everyone a heads up. Shedeur Sanders is still available. So in case anyone out there needs a quarterback here in the second round, still available. You can draft him higher in your fantasy draft than he went in the real draft. Make my day. As Derrick Henry comes off the board, oh my God. I would not be able to control myself if this is how I was able to start the Flock League. If I was able to start the Flock League with Malik Neighbors and CeeDee Lamb, or sorry, Malik Neighbors and Christian McCaffrey, it's over. It's over. Okay? We'll take that. Watch me like week 1. Neighbors has a toe injury and CMC tore his Achilles. That's true. Tom Brady is available. Jay says, what position do you take in the first round if you have keepers of CD in the second and McLaurin in the fifth? Well, I feel like there's probably a better keeper out there than Terry McLaurin in the fifth. Surely you have a better keeper than Terry in the fifth. That's pretty much Terry's ADP. In a 10 man, Terry's not going to go any higher than that anyway. But yeah, if you've already got 2 wide receivers, it makes sense to go running back. But in a keeper, it's all about BPA. What's up, Chad? How long does that deal last for the season pass? I think all the way up until the season, but the earlier you get it, the more value you're going to get out of our season pass. You know, if you don't know what he's talking about, you can gain access to the Flock site, my rankings, my draft guide, everyone's rankings, everyone's draft guide on the Flock site, vouchers to ask me questions on the live stream for the entire season. You can get that for $34. It's $1.60 per week with the promo code LAND. Make sure you use the promo code LAND when you're signing up to get that season pass. All right, so in the second round, it finished with Chase Brown, Jacobs, Taylor, Bowers, McConkey, JSN, and McBride. So Dana's going to try and push running backs a little bit further down the board there. That's my goal in the upcoming draft. Trey says I got the 10th picked, either CMC, Genty, and Neighbors, Brian Thomas. That is true. Marlon Mack is on the board. All right. As Kyron Williams comes off the board, followed by Mr. Tyreek Hill. Shout out to Mr. Reek himself. What do we think, guys? What do we think about Tyreek in the year of 2025? If you're going off of a vibe check's not high right now, is it? Vibes are not at an all-time high in Miami. Is there another receiver in the entire NFL that you're more worried about being traded in season? Genuine question. Because I can't think of one right now. Is there another receiver that you're more concerned about in season being traded? But at the same time, if Tyreek is like 70% of what he was, he's still a good pick. It's difficult to digest, honestly. All right. Garrett Wilson, then Ken Walker comes off the board. Oh my goodness gracious. We're going to get Breece Hall here at the 309. I mean, can we just go ahead and mail this in? Can we go ahead and mail this in? Can someone send this to Mason and just say, hey, Zach already drafted. He's finished. He actually got the 9 spot, and this is his start with Neighbors, McCaffrey, Breece. Can someone just send that to Mason? Can someone let him know? Because we're going to go ahead and lock in this roster, please. Wow. Josh Allen at the 311 actually is kind of mental. Maybe I should have gone that way. Now I'm like rethinking everything. All right. After Josh Allen, we do get Jaden Daniels, George Kittle. I mean, there's a chance I get to draft the best team fantasy's ever seen. Damn it. I was like, if y'all let me get Devontae Adams in the 4th, it's over. We're making this a real league. And I'm taking all your money. But, yeah, unfortunately, couldn't get it done. But honestly, I have a great pick here no matter what. There's a receiver I like. There's a running back I like. So if a receiver was there, I was going to probably go Marvin Harrison. But now I can just draft Alvin Kamara or Jalen Hurts. I feel like either of those are incredible options, but let's go high testosterone. Let's put as much testosterone on this roster as we possibly can. I mean, we might have 400 targets between our first 4 players combined this year. Actually, 400 might be not... I mean, if Kamara is healthy, he's getting 100 targets. He had, like, what, 94 last year? I can't remember, but he only played, like... He missed, like, 5 games, something like that. CMC, you know CMC is getting 100 targets. Brees, let's just say Brees gets 60. What is that at? 260? We need Neighbors to get 140. I mean, we got over our 400 targets with our first 4 picks there. Sheesh. Let him cook. I'm trying. I'm trying my best. There is a lot of risk on this team. You're not wrong. There's a lot of risk on this team. But I feel like everyone's priced pretty reasonable. Like McCaffrey, you could rationalize as a first-round pick. Brees, you can rationalize as a second-round pick. At least late second, not early second. And then Kamara, you could rationalize as a third. I don't know. I like it. Jay says, what do you mean when you say BPA? Like, is ADP meaning BPA or is BPA based on opinion? Okay, that's a good question. Sometimes, you know, because my whole life revolves around football and fantasy, you know, some of this terminology you guys might not know. BPA simply means best player available. And in that video I dropped today, where I talked about follow these 10 steps to win any draft, how to draft well. You know, one of the things I talked about is drafting with tiered rankings, which again, in our draft guide, you have my tiered rankings. So we're going to drop our cheat sheet here soon so you guys can download it and print it off during your drafts as well. But BPA simply means best player available. So for example, if you're relatively new to fantasy, you might be looking right now at the draft board and you might be saying, oh, well, everybody has a quarterback. This might be you. This might be you. All right, let's say you're pick 4. Everyone has a quarterback now. Like Jackson's gone, Allen's gone, Daniel's gone, Hurts gone, Burrow's gone. People are filling up quarterbacks fast. Patrick Mahomes is there. I have to grab Patrick Mahomes. I need a quarterback. No, clearly Patrick Mahomes isn't close to the best player available. Like, there's no way you should be taking Patrick Mahomes over some of these receivers. Your Metcalfs, Jamesons, Pickens, Hunters, McMillan, who just went off the board, the Rashee Rices of the world. You know, some of the running backs that are available. So, when I say draft, don't force a player, go BPA, it's all about, like, don't force a position. You know, let's say you're around 7 and you're like one of the only people who doesn't have a tight end. But the tight end that best available is, I don't know, like, who's like Dalton Kincaid. But you have a chance to draft, you know, like Travion Henderson or something, just as an example. Like, you would be absolutely foolish to go the player that you feel like you have a need for. So, does that make sense? He says, well, I knew what BPA meant, but, like, how do you decide who BPA is? Well, with my tier, for me personally, the way I decide BPA is the tiers in my rankings. Right? So you guys will see this reflected on my draft guide. But even if you just want to go to the Flock site, you'll see my rankings in tiers. So for example, my tier 1 is Chase. My tier 2 is Lamb and Jefferson. Now, that doesn't equally equate across both positions. It's not like tier 1 is equal to tier 1 running backs, wide receivers, right? But if I know that, like, the last player, so Amon-Ra is the last player in my tier 3, but I'm on the board and Bucky, all these players in my tier 3 of my running backs are available, I'm probably going to draft the last player available in that tier, Amon-Ra, and hope that one of these guys in my other tier falls to me at my next pick. So a little bit tier-based drafting. A lot of people draft in different ways. I could not believe that I was about to get Travion Henderson all the way at the 508, but it was a pipe dream. He goes off the board. Oh my God, I was salivating. All right, we'll grab Pickens here. I was salivating watching Travion Henderson fall down the draft board, ladies and gentlemen. Logan says, you have the PPR dogs at running back so far. Yeah, that's right. Come on. So you can't say dog normal. You know what I mean? Like you can't say, yeah, I got dogs on my team. There's certain words you can't just say them normally. Yeah, dude, do you see the dogs on my team? You got to put a little mustard on it. I got some dogs. Okay. I love Johnny Boy. Johnny Boy's always mock drafting with us. But in my opinion, I think this is forcing a player. Baker Mayfield in the 5th. And I would say the same thing about TJ Hawkinson at the 5'11". Number one, it makes no sense to draft TJ Hawkinson there, by the way, because Direwolves already has George Kittle, so he's not going to take a tight end. So you could have taken whatever other player you wanted first. But anyway, I honestly, I love all of y'all. I appreciate y'all for drafting with me. But I think this is a great example. Like Baker Mayfield in the 5th, TJ Hawkinson in the 5th. There's just no reason to take these guys this high, especially with the wide receivers available. So, I mean, that's just my opinion, but I don't think that is going BPA. I think that's forcing a position, personally. Colin says, why does everyone use Sleeper and not ESPN? There's nothing wrong with ESPN, honestly, but I just prefer Sleeper's UI. That's just a personal preference of mine, I guess I could say. So I got George Pickens there. I was hoping for Travis Hunter to fall. I was seeing Xavier Worthy fall. And now things get a little bit weird. And we might get weird as well. We might get weird here because I think this is another tier-based thing. Pacheco, if I'm not mistaken. Let me have a look at my tiers. And again, I'm going to draft differently when I'm actually drafting in leagues because I'll have my own tiers and I'm able to look at them. But Pacheco, he's not in his own tier, but I do think he's the last one I'm comfortable with. So we're going to grab Pacheco there. And now we have 4 running backs, which is a lot. But our flexes are full of running backs. And we're going to try and fill out the rest of our roster here. Let's go high testosterone. But that wasn't a great example. Let me know if that makes sense. Did that answer your question, Jace? Is that helpful at all? I don't know. Maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm an idiot. Dave is on auto pick. Dave, are you there? Ideally, don't join drafts if you're not going to stay, because there's a lot of people who want to get some practice in. Just saying. I appreciate y'all. All right. Again, I feel like Kelsey in the 6. I still feel like people are forcing these positions personally. Yeah. To me, like the Kelsey, the Hawkinson, the Baker, those are all, in my opinion, picks that are a little bit forced. Let's see how this plays out. I mean, what if, hypothetically, we went real running back heavy in the Flock League? What would it look like? What would that outcome be? I'm excited to actually see what that would look like. As Judy went off the board, then Kelsey Swift. Let's see. Chris says, honestly, even with the Puka pick, I don't hate the 104 team so far, or maybe I'm just biased because we have the same team. So have you already drafted your team? I actually like his team. I just think that team looks a lot better with CeeDee Lamb or Jefferson. It feels more comfortable, maybe is the right way to say it. So after... Oh, I do have Caleb Johnson ahead of Pacheco in my rankings. So that's a mess up from me, but I'm not using my rankings right now. Drafting. Yeah. That's on me. It'll be much easier when I print out our cheat sheet. Yeah, no worries, Jace. Gator says, I'm just finding it hard to make myself draft rookies this year, especially in the first several rounds. That's fair. Like last year, rookie wide receivers were league winners. Like, think about it. How many rookie wide receivers were league winners? You had Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors, Ladd McConkey. And I just can't help but feel like the rookie running back class could be the equivalent this year. I really think it could be a special class. That could be just me. That's okay if it is. But man, what a fun stream. I appreciate y'all for being here with me. I'm going to put a link to the season pass in the chat and I'll just pin it there. As Mahomes comes off the board, then Aaron Jones, Bo Nix, Brian Robinson. Don't let me get another running back here. I'm kidding. Oh my God. What are you going to do, Chid? You don't need receivers, Chid. You've already got 4 receivers, Chid. You need a running back. Damn it. Roma Dunze that late is crazy. But we're going to grab Ricky Pearsall here as our wide receiver 3. But man, I was watching Roma Dunze fall. Damn, son. As Ricky Pearsall, Deebo Samuel come off the board. Taste says, is the cheat sheet free? So here's the thing, guys. You can actually create a free account. And sometimes we do like mock drafts on the Flock Fantasy site. So you can create a free account. If you create a free account with the promo code LAND, you're going to be able to see some of these things for free. Like, for example, you'll be able to see like expert consensus rankings. But the individual creator rankings are going to all be locked. You're not going to be able to gain access to like my draft guide, all the other draft guides on the industry, all the other incredible assets. A lot of these premium tools are not going to be unlocked, but you'll still be able to, have a lot of free tools that you can use. So that is a resource that's available to you. But again, the season pass is $34 and you're going to gain unlimited access to the entire site. I just can't express how good of a deal that is. I will probably go Jordan Addison here in the 8th. I'll grab Jordan Addison in the 8th and see how this feels. But yeah, again, link is pinned in the chat. When you use the promo code LAND, the season pass is just $34. It's $1.60 per week for the rest of the entire season. You get unlimited access to the site. You get 4 trade and start sit vouchers, 4 total that you can use. My weekly updated rankings, in season, rest of season rankings. And of course, you also get to enter into the raffles, the weekly raffles that we do for our live community leagues. So definitely worth being a part of. In fact, tomorrow night, like I said earlier, we'll be live streaming a real draft. And it's going to be all people who are members with us. So again, I know I keep saying it, but it's just such a good deal. I would definitely suggest going over there and using the promo code LAND and getting that discount. All right, so we took Addison there at the 804. What do we think, guys? What do we think of the squad so far? It's shaping up, I think. I think it's shaping up. Fritz says, you're right about the running back rookies. That's why I'm drafting JCM in the 2nd round. I love it. After I took Addison, we have Shakir, Jennings, Reed, Downs. I love Downs. Honestly, I have Downs ranked higher than Addison. I should have gone Downs there. It's so hard to follow my rankings when I'm live streaming with you guys, because I'm trying to answer your questions as well and, you know, be here, be present. Yo boy, what's up, yo boy? He says, in a full PPR 2 flex league, would you rather have wide receivers or running backs in the flex? I don't like this kind of question. To me is I mean, I don't want this to sound rude or anything. I just think it's a pointless question. And I say that because I'm going to answer your question. I say that because if I tell you I want running backs in my flex, is that going to lead you in your draft to reach on a running back over a wide receiver? Because you shouldn't. When you're drafting, you shouldn't say, well, Zach said he likes wide receivers in his flex, so I'm going to take this wide receiver over this running back. No, you should take the best player available at that point for your flex. You know? Like if you're in round 5 and the best running back is Brian Robinson, but Jameson Williams and George Pickens and Travis Hunter are there, draft those wide receivers. Fill your flex with those wide receivers. So does that make sense, your boy? Like, do you get where I'm coming from there? Because I want to offer good advice. And I just think if I answered that question straight up, it wouldn't actually be good advice. All right, so Travis Etienne, Jalen Warren coming off the board. I might mess around and draft another running back here. I might mess around and draft another running back. Oh, you guys are making it so hard not to take a running back. Ooh, but we're Sally sells seashells by the seashore. We're going to grab a rookie tight end. We're going to grab Tyler Warren here. We'll grab Tyler Warren here in the 9th. That was close. By the way, I'd love to jump into a best ball draft with you guys. We currently have 4 spots remaining in the Rabbit draft. I'm constantly drafting in a best ball tournament. So even when I'm here on the stream with you guys, I'm also on the back end drafting in a best ball tournament. I'd love for you to come draft with me over on the FastDraft app. If you've never downloaded the FastDraft app, this is great practice for your home leagues as well. A real pressure situation where you can win real money, and then there's no commitment in season with these best ball tournaments. But download the FastDraft app. Use my promo code LAND. I'm going to match your deposit up to $50. So that's about 5 free Rabbit tournaments or 10 free Flex 4 tournaments on me. The new Flex 4 just dropped today. When you finish your first contest, I'm going to send you my season rankings completely free and my rookie report completely free. I just put a link in the chat, but I would love for you guys to come join me. We are now down to 3 spots. So you could probably sign up right now while we're streaming and jump into a draft with me. Let me know if you guys have any questions about that. But after I took Tyler Warren, we did have Loveland. I was eyeing up Michael Pittman. I thought he was such a good pick there. Was going to grab Burden as well. Man, that sucks because Mason, Burden, and Pittman were all guys I really wanted to draft there. I just couldn't pass up on that tight end. I do like Keon Coleman. Maybe I'll go Keon Coleman here. That seems like the right move. Actually, yeah. No, we're going to go Keon Coleman. We'll grab Keon Coleman here. Add another receiver to the wide receiver room. I'm feeling good about this team. By the way, heads up. 2 spots remaining. Again, in FastDraft. You can use the promo code LAND. I'll match your deposit up to $50. 2 spots in this Rabbit. Let's get in a real best ball tournament together. All right, after Charbonnet, after I took Keon, we had Najee, Charbonnet, and then Jonnu Smith, which Jonnu's almost assuredly a auto pick. Maybe. We might do another mock draft. We'll see. There's potential. A lot of tight ends coming off the board here in the last 2 rounds with Ingram and Njoku, Warren, Loveland, Smith, Ferguson. I do feel good about going tight end there. So, you know, earlier I said I felt like Hawkinson was a reach at tight end. And again, I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but when you can get names like Ingram and Njoku in the 9th round, it just makes it almost impossible for me to draft TJ Hawkinson this year. All right, we are officially in a draft. Where is your boy drafting from, though? That's the question. I am drafting from... I don't think I saw myself at the top 3. No, I'm not in the top 3. TD's in here with us. What's up, TD? Prince Dre's in the building. So we're at the 9 spot, which I actually love the back end of the board in these tourneys here. I'll tell you why in a second. Y'all see. I will build a nasty team. I promise you. We're going to build a nasty team from the back end of the board here on FastDraft. The third round reversal in this one is lethal. All right. Shaheed comes off the board. Dak Prescott in the 10th. A little bit disappointing, but that's okay. I was hoping he would fall to me. Beasley here. You gotta draft a running back, brother. Yeah. I was going to say, you've got to draft a running back. As Ramondre comes off the board. I really like this team, man. I really like this team. As Pearsall, Addison, and Coleman all off the board. Stevenson at the 11-3. Chris goes Kyle Williams. I like that pick a lot. There's not really a receiver I'm obsessed with here. I know what we're going to do. All right, Chris is going to make his pick. Or Chid, sorry. Chid is going to make his pick. And I know exactly what I'm going to do once he does. Come on, Chid. You can do it, bud. All right. Chid goes off the board. We're going to draft Justin Fields in the 11th round. What do you guys think? I am obsessed with this start. Personally, I think it's the best start I've had so far today. I love this team. And if it was my team in the Flock League, I would be more than happy. All right, 11 seconds on the clock here in this fast draft. I am going to go ahead and jump on Malik Neighbors here at the 109. So the first 8 picks were Chase, Lamb, Bijan, Gibbs, Barkley, Jefferson. Then McCaffrey goes at the 107, which you don't often see. And it looks like Dre is in the draft with me as well as TD draft. We're both in the same draft together. Dre is on the 10, so we're going to be sniping each other, I think. And TD's at the 5 spot there. Dre goes Nico Collins. Don't do it, Dre. Don't do it, Dre. Dre, I'm begging you. Damn it, Dre! Okay. It's all right. It's all right. We're cool, calm, and collected here. You know what? I really want to do my strat, but if I can start Malik Neighbors and Puka Nacua, I'm not going to pass that up. Malik Neighbors and Puka Nacua is a crazy start. And that, to me, is an example of BPA. I felt like Puka Nacua was in a tier for me where I don't put the other guys there quite the same. But man, Dre just knows that I was eyeing up Achane there. We probably have the same thoughts on him. TD starts with Saquon, then he goes Drake London there in the 2nd round. Now here's the great thing. When you're on the back end of the board in the Rabbit tournament, the 3rd round reversal is your best friend. So there's a very good chance that even though I didn't get a running back at the 202, I'm probably about to get a really good running back at the 302 anyway. So it's a little bit easier to build your teams. Number 1, it's a 10-team league, full PPR. So it's easier to fill out positions in a 10-team league anyway. But number 2, that 3rd round reversal is really helpful. Okay, A.J. Brown comes off the board. Bucky Irving. I'm going to have a great option as long as Prince doesn't snipe me. Chase Brown was a great pick there. Oh my gosh, that guy has Chase and Chase Brown at the 101. All right, Prince Dre. Go ahead and break my heart. Go ahead and do it. The 3rd round reversal here. It's okay. Do what you have to do. Do your worst, Dre. Okay. Dre grabs Lad McConkey. That gives us a lot of great options at running back. So we're going to grab Jonathan Taylor here We've started our draft. Neighbors, Puka, Taylor. I mean, that's nasty. You can't tell me that's not nasty. Gator says, if I was on the East Coast, I would have, but I moved. That's okay. Trey says, with Tyreek hurt, though, he may be a steal this year if he is fully recovered, I guess you're saying. Elijah says, did I miss something with Jalen Waddle? I know it wasn't the best year last year, but damn, the dip in ADP is astounding. I just think people are just overall really concerned about that offense. Like, just in general, I don't think people have the best feelings with the offense in Miami. I don't think people know exactly what it's going to look like. So I think that leads to people being a little bit concerned. Dre says, I 100% picked JT. Oh, dude, I'm sorry. But I think you left it too late because the clock was counting down there. After Trey McBride goes, we have T. Higgins, then Jacobs, JSN, Allen, Lamar, Breece. Breece Hall at the 309 is kind of cool too. Followed by Kyron Williams. So that one spot started Chase, as in Jamar, Chase as in Brown, Kyron Williams, and then George Kittle. Johnny boy, are you in this fast draft with us? I know a couple of the guys already are. Jaden Daniels in the 4th. I like it. I honestly, almost all the time, I'm drafting like an elite quarterback or tight end in this 10-team format. But with Taylor there, it just didn't work out. But let's see. One could still fall to me. TD goes Amari on Hampton at the 405. That's pretty awesome. Garrett Wilson. We are eyeing up Jalen Hurts here. I just feel like in this format, I really want an elite onesie. So we only have one more pick before Jalen Hurts is on the board. I'm praying he does not get selected. I really want that elite onesie in this 10-teamer. Perfect. Welcome home, Jalen. And then no matter what happens here with Prince, we're going to have a running back available to us that we like. It's going to be either one of these rookies or like an Alvin. But either way, we're going to have a great option here no matter what Prince does. CD Bucky Breece is a nice start. Who started CD Bucky Breece? Who did that? Yeah, team 2. That is a nice start. Gator says, how much wiggle room is there as far as how much you like JT versus Jacobs and Bucky? I have Bucky ranked ahead of JT and Jacobs. I have JT ranked ahead of Jacobs, but I have them all in the same exact tier. So I guess that tells you I'm pretty open to any of them. As we'll take Travion here at the 502. So we start our draft so far through 5 rounds. What do you think? Tell me what you think. Be brutally honest. I like the team. Jalen Hurts, Taylor Henderson, Neighbors, Puka. I mean, that wide receiver, that duo there is crazy. That is crazy. After I took Henderson, we got Chuba, Rice, and T-Mac off the board. D. Macy likes it. Chris says, I love half of these teams and I hate half of these teams. That's typically the way it goes. That's typically the motion of the ocean. All right. Jamison Williams off the board there at the 506. James Conner as well. Man, I hope Trey Benson gets a shot. I love James Conner, but I really hope Trey Benson gets a shot to do his thing too. He just deserves it. You know? Trey Benson deserves a shot, in my opinion.
All right, DK Tyreek at the 508. If you're just joining in, this is not fake. This is real. Tyreek Hill at the 508. Wow. Yeah, wow. That could be a big mistake. JJ McCarthy in the 6th round. By the way, the rabbit on FastDraft is, it's not like you don't have to worry about like what matchups are in week 17. The way the tourneys work, it's total points from weeks 1 to 17. So you can just draft like you would in your home league. That's why it's great practice for your home league. How would you draft in your home league? Like, you would want the best players for the entire season. You wouldn't be so focused on like one matchup in week 17. That's what I love about FastDraft. So going McCarthy at the 601 seems kind of crazy. Yeah, Flock Draft is in 10 days, gang. 10 days. So I fly out to Austin, not tomorrow, but the next day. So I fly out in 2 days. And then because we have to fly all the way from Sydney, the jet lag's a bit of a bitch, so it takes a while to kind of recover from. But then once we get over there, it'll be fun. You know what I just realized? This guy, like Team 1 had, remember, they have Jamar Chase, Chase Brown. And they took JJ McCarthy over Joe Burrow. In what world does that make sense? Why would you not stack Burrow with those two names instead of McCarthy? Maybe I'm the idiot, but I don't understand that. All right. I am pretty happy with any of the wide receivers that come back to me. So we're going to grab Caleb Johnson. And depending on what Prince does here on the edge, I will be pretty content. And again, that's another example of like, in my mind, I know my tiers pretty well. And I'm more than happy to draft any of the wide receivers that fall to me. But if I miss out on a Caleb, I'll be annoyed. And that's a little bit more how we should be drafting, you know, thinking that way. What you going to do, Prince? He's got Terry with his first pick. I am going to go receiver. Ideally, Devonta Smith. That's perfect. Yeah, we'll get the natural stack. You see the little stack icon by Devonta's name? Which I love that they do that on this app. All right, the team through 7 rounds. I'm going to try and, you know, reserve myself, but tell me this isn't a hot team. I mean, let's be honest for a second. You're not feeling something when you're looking at this team. You're not feeling any emotion when you look at this team. I think something's wrong with you if that's the case. We've got Jalen Hurts, Taylor Henderson, Caleb, Neighbors, Puka, Smith. I mean, damn. Tell me you're not feeling something tonight. Tell me tonight, the 6th of August, 2025, you're not feeling something in the air. Again, would love for you guys to come draft with me, by the way. You can jump into a draft with me on stream. These best ball tournaments are great practice. Real life pressure situation. You can jump into a draft with me. Download the FastDraft app if you haven't downloaded it yet. And use the promo code LAND at sign up. I'm going to match your deposit up to $50. That's going to be 5 free rabbit tournaments or 10 free flex 4s on me. And when you finish your first contest, you're going to get my cheat sheet for the season. You're going to get my rookie report for 2025 completely free. I just put a link in the comment section, but I'd love for you guys to come draft with me. And by the way, if you're already on FastDraft, DM me on Discord. All right, I'll put my username here in the chat on Discord because I'd love to add you to our group chat where we're drafting together. I mean, Prince Dre and TD are both in a group chat with me, and I tagged them, and they joined the draft, so we're drafting together. All right. I don't think there's any tight ends we're really going to be focusing on this round. So probably just going to go BPA between running back and receiver. I will take a shot on Jennings if he's there. Don't really like these running backs. Y'all know I love me some Joshy Downs. Y'all know I love me some Deebs. Okay. So Jennings did go. Purdy also went. And yeah, I'm going to grab Debo here. Maybe we can get Downs as well if Prince might take him. Are we done with sleeper drafts tonight? I mean, probably. We did 3 mock drafts. Probably for tonight, but come join me tomorrow night, guys. We're going to be live doing a real draft with our community. Evan Ingram comes off the board. So he goes tight in there. And Justin Fields. So in the 9th round, we can go ahead and add Joshua Downs. And that's probably going to, for the most part, be my wide receiver room. I don't think I'm going to draft another receiver here. With Neighbors, Puka, Smith, Debo, and Downs, I feel pretty good about that core. I don't know that we really need to take too many more shots at that room. We'll probably start to build our other rooms now, should we need to. All right, what is, I want to know from you guys, what is your biggest home league? What's the home league that you care about the most? You know, what's the draft that, you know, you feel the most feelings about? Is it a draft that you've had for 5 years with your friends, for 20 years? Did you just start it this year and you're getting excited? I want to know what draft gets you the most excited this year. For me, probably is a flock league. I mean, I'm flying across the world to be there. So it would be silly if I didn't answer the flock league, probably. Gator says, how many quarterbacks and tight ends do you generally draft in best ball? So, I guess if I didn't go quarterback early, like if I didn't have Jalen Hurts already on the roster, I probably would have gone like, you know, like Prince did, like Sean did beside me, like a Purdy, Baker. And I would have at least 2, if not 3 quarterbacks. And the same thing with tight ends. Like if I go early tight end, I'll probably end up with just 2, and I'll take my last pick as a tight end. But with no tight ends right now through 9 rounds, I'll probably grab like 3 that I think can have like a weekly upside. You know what I mean? Colin says, I have a neighborhood league where for 2 years that I'm excited about. I love that. You know, I mean, if you grew up in a neighborhood where you had good friends and, you know, playing a lot of like backyard football and 2-hand touch, some of the best fantasy leagues can be formed there. Chris says, home league with my boys. Not the most competitive league ever, but it's always fun to do. Yeah, I think the league matters when it's with people that you like, you know. Country Slab says, friendly going on 3 years now. I'm the commish and have always had terrible luck. You can do it. This is your year, Country Slab. This is your year. Gator says, for me, it's been between Bravo League here and my home league. And he's talking about one of our follower leagues, which I love to hear that. We try and make sure our follower leagues, you know, get some love. Man, Brian Robinson this late. Oh, okay. He's saved me. I was about to go Brian Robinson there. I'm not even going to cap. We'll grab Tyler Warren here. And then, depending on what Prince does, we can maybe go back to the well. Judkins this late is starting to become intriguing to me. Judkins is starting to become intriguing to me. So he goes in Njoku. That's a good pick. So he went Ingram, Fields, and Njoku. I actually like the Fields and Njoku a lot. Judkins goes. That makes sense. Yeah, we're going to go double rookie tight end then. We'll grab Colson Loveland as well. Warren Loveland. I actually talked about this in today's video. If you don't invest early in a tight end, it's okay. Go ahead and invest in 2 later on. Especially in a best ball style. where you don't have to set your lineup every week. Daniel says, been part of the same redraft league since high school, 17 years ago. We hardly ever talk anymore, but we make it a priority to continue the league every year. I love that, honestly. Fantasy, like the best part of fantasy is relationships, like with your friends. Being with your friends, connecting and meeting new people. You know what I mean? That is the best part of fantasy football. We just got an orphan in our dynasty league, and I'm about to just fill it. So let me just send this link off. But Dak Prescott's a great pick in the 11th round. Caleb Williams. What do we think about Caleb? I want to hear realistic expectations for Caleb Williams in 2025. I want y'all to tell me what your expectations are here. Because really, you can spin any story you want with him right about now. It is not difficult to do. All right, let me send this link off. Oops, that's the wrong site. Here we go. All right. So Jaden Reed in the 11th. I do love Jaden Reed in these drafts. He always has spike week potential. We got some running backs off the board like Dobbins, Sharps, Tracy, Javonte, Dillon. I will probably eye up a running back this round if I can. But I just realized TD's with us. TD has 4 running backs, though. Maybe he doesn't need one. What did TD end up doing? He went Kyle Pitts. There's more and more of you guys jumping into these fast drafts. So I have to be careful talking about my strategy nowadays. As Jaden Blue comes off the board, this would be great. I want Trey Benson or Tank Bigsby. Give me Trey Benson or Tank Bigsby. Okay, perfect. We've got our option at both. I've got 52% Tank Bigsby. So let's grab some Trey Benson. Let's get that up. And then if Prince doesn't like Tank, I don't know if he likes Tank or not. We might just grab Tank on the back end too. No worries, Colin. Have a great night. Mike says Caleb's a workhorse top 8 running back. I love it. Yeah. Prince says he doesn't know if he's in or out. I think that's all of us, really. So I don't think you're alone there. Okay, awesome. This could not have gone better. We'll take Tank Bigsby here. 53% drafted so far. I guess that number is going up again. Man, I love this team. This team feels like the one. I know I say that every time I draft, but Jalen Hurts, Taylor Henderson, Caleb Benson Bigsby, Neighbors, Puka, Smith, Debo, Downs, Warren, Loveland. Have you seen a better fantasy team this entire season so far? I mean, be real. You can also say, Zach, that team sucks. Shut up. Well, I mean, let's be real for a second, though. That team is nasty. Powerhouse, thanks for the donation, man. He says, which 2 quarterbacks will lead in touchdowns this year? Let's see. Passing touchdown leaders 2024. Who was it last year? Was it Burrow? Surely Burrow, right? And then after Burrow, it was Baker. And then Lamar. It was crazy how many touchdowns Lamar threw. So Burrow was at 43 last year. Baker was at 41. Lamar at 40, at 41 too. Lamar Jackson, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions is genuinely insane. I'm sorry. I love Josh Allen, but I am so confused how Lamar Jackson wasn't the MVP last year. Just nothing about that makes sense to me. There's just no way you could have convinced me that Lamar Jackson was an MVP. It's hard not to say Joe Burrow. They're projected to throw the most passes. They've got the best weapons. Burrow is the obvious name. I wouldn't be surprised if Stafford is like a dark horse I'd say Dak Prescott is a dark horse. Stafford's a dark horse. But if not, probably Burrow and Baker and some of these guys from last year. It's a good question, though. Again, you can download the FastDraft app, use the promo code LAND, jump into a draft with us, get your deposit matched up to $50. As we are last couple picks here, and we've got 5 running backs, 5 receivers. Chris Godwin this late is, man. Is there any tight ends I want here? Yes. I would like to take a shot on Isaiah Likely. So we'll grab Likely here. And then I'll probably grab Stafford. I mean, I guess there's a chance that Prince could take Stafford, but if not, we'll take a different quarterback. But we'll go ahead and get that stack with Staffy. That Puka Staffy stack. He goes Brashard Smith. I like that. And for his last pick, Prince Dre, the 19th. Be careful with that auto cue. Jonnu off the board. And I'm going to grab Matthew Stafford. That's the team, ladies and gentlemen. What do we think? Hurts, Stafford, Taylor, Henderson, Johnson, Benson, Bigsby. Neighbors, Puka, Smith, Debo, Downs, Warren, Loveland, Likely. I mean, clearly I'm not humble, but let's be real for a second. That's a nasty team, dude. I mean, the upside here is ridiculous. Although I know everybody hates Debo except for me, so that's okay. I had fun. Again, jump into a FastDraft, download it, use the promo code LAND. You're going to get my cheat sheet. I'm going to match your deposit up to $50. Guys, tomorrow night, we are going to be live doing a real draft. The best news is there will be real football on, preseason football, and we'll be doing a real draft. It is the best of both worlds. So I'd love for you to come join me tomorrow night. We'll be here. Will you be here? That's the question. We will be here. Will you be here? That's the question. Okay. So tomorrow night, the Chi-Town League is drafting. And again, last thing I'll say is get your season pass. Get your season pass. Best deal in the industry by far. $34, $1.60 per week for the rest of the year. Wrong link there. And you get access to the entire site. I'm going to answer your fantasy questions this year on stream. You get my draft guide, unlimited access, weekly rankings, rest of season rankings. We've never seen a deal like this before. But thank you for your support. Everyone who has bought the season pass, you guys are the reason we're able to do this. You guys are the reason we're able to, pursue our dreams in this manner. So we appreciate you big time. And enjoy the rest of your nights. We'll see you tomorrow with some real football. Adios.